So here you have your bonsai pruning kit, which consists of this fantastic bonsai, beautiful S-shaped trunk, so it's all pre-styled, ready to go, long shoots, great. So you will also have your pruning guide, step by step, so have a read through that. Stick it on your bench there so you can sort of glance at it as you're going through and pruning away. You will also have your care card, alright, that tells you how to look after your beautiful little bonsai. You've got a little handbook here, okay, so that just gives you some details what bonsai is all about and sort of get you into the mood really. I think that's one of the nice things. Have a read through that first and then you'll be, bonsai mood. Forget about all the worries and all the things that have gone on today, and so that'll get you going, alright, get you in the mood. What else have we got? We've got some pruning scissors, okay, got some little beauties here. Now these are very sharp, right, nice and pointy so that we can get in there. It's important that you do use sharp scissors, and because then you get a nice clean cut. Blunt scissors tend to crush the ends and you get these little black bits coming down here. Doesn't look very nice. So there we are, that's everything in your... Did we talk about the fertilizer? No, we didn't, did we? No, we've got some fertilizer here as well, look, okay. Great stuff this. This will help your bonsai regrow and keep it nice and healthy. Lots of green, new, lush leaves, alright? So use that once a week. Okay, so there we are. Come on then, let's get pruning. So here we go. Right, so no leaves and branches flying everywhere. Don't go in too far to start with. Just going to clean up a little bit. That way it makes it easier to see what's inside there. So just a little bit of a clean up really. Lovely. There. Starting to look better already. So I'm not being terribly accurate at all, just trimming back the long shoots. There we go. Right, so that's a basic trim up, like that. Okay, so just have a look around, see a bit more of what's inside the tree now. Great. So what we'll do now is we'll come in, we'll get really in close there, clean out any of those little branches, crisscrossing ones. We want them all to be nice and open, and so we can see the details of the bonsai. So we're going to clean up this little area here, and what I mean by clean up, I mean we want to remove any crisscrossing branches, branches growing in the wrong direction, and open it up a little bit so that we can see the main branches and we can get in there and have a look. And then as the tree regrows, sends out new shoots, some will be growing in the right direction, some will be growing in the wrong direction. So this is an ongoing process all the time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to concentrate a little bit, get in there and see what's going on. We've got some branches all sort of sticking up. We really need them to spread out a little bit, a bit of space between the branches. So we're going to have a look in there. what is going on. Right, well, here's quite a big shoot there. I'll take that one down. And gradually we'll see the main branch start to show a little bit there. So okay. One's growing from one side of the branch, so a little shoot, the more branch growing from here, going across the other side. We need to take that out. They should all spread out nicely away from the centre of the branch. Sort of fanning out, I suppose, is one way of putting it. There's one, and whether you can see it, but this one here, he sort of ends up on this side, but actually he starts right down here on the other side. So what I'm going to do, I keep my scissors closed, so I can pop him in there, go right across the other side and snip him off. All right. If you go in with your scissors open, of course you're going to catch all the other twigs on the way. So where does he come from? All right, he's not too bad. There's a little twig in there. Let's take him out and tidy that up a little bit. There's one there. All right, gradually we should end up with quite a nice little twig structure. Of course, some of it's got to regrow. And it's starting to look a bit better now. Let's take that one down a little bit. Just turning around, have a quick glance. I quite often find that what I do is I go in there, prune out a little bit, opening them up, move around, turning around a little bit, and sometimes I go over the same branch 2 or 3 times until I'm happy with it. I suppose the most important thing is you can't really do any harm. The Chinese Elm is brilliant at rebudding, so as long as you're not taking off any major branches, the little twigs and things like that, don't worry too much. They will come back. So, right, okay, that's looking a bit better. I'm quite happy with that branch now. So we'll turn them around and work our way around here. The crown, yeah, it's a little bit fussy in there, so we'll get in there and do a bit of pruning in there. Not too bad actually, not too bad at all. It's a nice shape in there. And this is an ongoing process, so each week you can look at it, new shoots are growing out and think, oh yeah, that's growing nicely, I like the way that's growing, it's growing in a nice position, nice direction. And so it's an ongoing process. You're never going to finish this. In 100 years time you'll still be pruning him. Good, good, good. This one here is coming up a bit too high, so I'll take him down a little bit. That's nice, I can see that branch. Okay, through there, that's good. A twig in there. Take that one back, this one's sticking up a bit too much. You've got to think about where it is, the branch that you're pruning, whereabouts it is on the bonsai. So up the top here, we want sort of like a round crown sort of shape, okay, like a, not necessarily a ball shape, could be a bit pointy, but it's going to be more 3-dimensional. The actual branches, they're going to be more sort of 2-dimensional. So they sort of flatten them off a little bit. So don't be too afraid just to take them down. Anything that's a bit too tall. Of course, what you can do is you can always just prune it a little bit, leave it for a week, 2 weeks, see it regrow. There's no hurry to do this, you know, so if you are a bit worried, yeah, just take your time. I've pruned thousands and thousands and thousands of bonsai, so it's quite easy for me. And I've seen them regrow and see what we can do, so I'm not too worried. I want to get back to the basic bones of the bonsai, the basic shape of it, and then regrow it from there. And it's great, it's really great. I love seeing the new buds come through. They're beautiful. Really lovely. So let's just have a spin around here and I can see it from all directions. And trim that off a little bit there. That's looking nice. I like that. A bit of a crossing twig there. Have a look in there. Yeah. So I like to be able to see the main branches. I like to see the start of the main branches. I like to be able to see most of the trunk, especially from what we call the viewing side. So the side where you can come in, you can see the trunk going from start to the start's down here and the finish up here, all right? See the start of the main branches, that's good, it's all looking quite clear now. And we can see most of the branches now. So instead of looking like a bush, it's starting to look like a tree now. A bald tree, but it's looking like a tree. And to me, that's the main difference between a bush and a tree. A bush is all a big ball of leaves, and a tree has space between the branches and the trunk and that, and it looks great. Well, that's definitely looking a lot more like a tree than a bush. What do you think? Alright. Any old leaves I tend to remove at the same time so they're not cluttering up the inside there. I'll spin around again. Yeah, that looks good. Have a look from underneath. Any downward growing branches sort of growing from underneath the branch there, take those off. You want nice clean lines. That's lovely there. I love the way this curve comes up and then it sweeps down here. Beautiful. Nice proportions. Right, trim that one down a little bit. It's one of those things you sort of want to keep going and going and going, and before you know it, you're down to the trunk. Well, there we are. I think that looks a lot better now. Good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put him to one side, put him on the windowsill and let him regrow. And then I'm just going to keep watching and selecting the new shoots, the ones that are growing in the right direction, and pruning out the ones that are growing in the wrong direction. I don't need to let it get so big and overgrown. So once the shoots are, you know, probably about that sort of length, could be a bit less really, just prune them back to about the first pair of new leaves. I mean, it's just a guide really. What you want to do is to form nice foliage pads around here. So that's what you're doing. So let the new shoots grow. If they're growing in the right place, brilliantly, just let them strengthen up a little bit, prune them back. Because once you prune it back, that new shoot will also rebud and give you another twig. So you're building up each time, twig on a twig on a twig, to build up this lovely branch structure here. It's a nice foliage pad, all right, all nice and evenly all the way around. A nice crown on the top, brilliant. Here we are, back again, only 10 days later. Look, it's beautiful, isn't it? Look at all these lovely green leaves. New shoots in abundance. In fact, needs pruning. Gosh, amazing. I do love it. It is fantastic.